Hello, dear friends. The idea of building manned torpedoes with a pilot's cockpit emerged long before Japan's final defeat. This innovative concept was proposed in the summer of 1942, shortly after the Battle of Midway. Development of the first Kaiten project continued all the way until the summer of 1944. At the end of July, the new vessel entered testing. In the shortest possible time, the torpedo was tested, refined, and put into mass production. The basis for this project was the heavy Type 93 torpedo. By the fall of 1944, Japanese industry had managed to build at least 300 Type 1 torpedoes. Other models in the Kaiten family were ordered and built in smaller quantities. As a result, the Navy managed to use only the Type 1 and Type 4 torpedoes in combat. The remaining torpedoes never made it to the theater of operations. Therefore, we will examine the Kaiten Type 1 variant. The torpedo's total length was nearly 15 meters, with a maximum diameter of 1 meter. By comparison, the Type 93 torpedo was 9 meters long and had a diameter of 610 millimeters. In launch-ready condition, the guided torpedo weighed 8 tons. The two-cylinder, 550-horsepower engine ran on kerosene and oxygen, allowing it to reach speeds of up to 30 knots. That's 56 kilometers per hour. The torpedo's operational depth did not exceed 35 meters, but its design allowed it to dive to depths of up to 80 meters. The maximum range on a single tank of fuel was 42 nautical miles, which is 78 kilometers. Inside, the torpedo consisted of an engine, a powerful warhead, and a very compact compartment for the suicide pilot. It was so narrow, however, that even by the standards of the small-statured Japanese, there was a catastrophic lack of space. Directly in front of the kamikaze pilot's face was a periscope, next to a speed control lever that essentially regulated the oxygen supply to the engine. In the upper part of the torpedo was another lever responsible for steering. The instrument panel was crammed with all sorts of devices: fuel and oxygen gauges, a pressure gauge, a clock, a depth gauge, and so on. At the pilot's feet was a valve for letting seawater into the ballast tank to stabilize the torpedo's weight. Controlling the torpedo was not all that easy, and pilot training left much to be desired. Schools sprang up spontaneously, but were just as spontaneously destroyed by American bombers. Initially, the Kaiten was used to attack enemy ships moored in bays. A carrier submarine with Kaiten units, 4 to 6, attached to its exterior, would detect enemy vessels, plot a course, literally turning around relative to the target's location, and the submarine captain would issue the final order to the suicide pilots. Through a narrow tube, the kamikaze pilots entered the Kaiten's cockpit, sealed the hatches, and received orders via radio from the submarine captain. The kamikaze pilots were completely blind. They could not see where they were heading, as the periscope could be used for no more than 3 seconds, since this risked the torpedo being detected by the enemy. The first recorded evidence of a Kaiten attack by the U.S. dates back to November 1944. 3 submarines and 12 Kaiten torpedoes participated in the attack against a moored American ship off the coast of Ulithi Atoll. As a result of the attack, 1 submarine simply sank. Of the 8 remaining Kaiten, 2 malfunctioned upon launch, 2 sank, 1 disappeared, though it was later found washed ashore, and 1 exploded before reaching its target. The remaining Kaiten crashed into a tanker and sank it. The Japanese command deemed the operation a success, which was immediately reported to the emperor. The next incident involving human torpedoes occurred on January 9, 1945. In this battle, one submarine was unable to reach the torpedo launch area. One was destroyed by American depth charges, and the rest were successfully launched by suicide divers. As a result of this attack, the Japanese managed to seriously damage several American ships and sink a landing craft. All damaged ships were repaired and returned to service. Overall, the effectiveness of the suicide submariners throughout the war proved to be unacceptably low. Having lost about 100 well-trained fighters and several submarines with their crews, the Japanese fleet sank or damaged about 10 enemy ships. Despite all the efforts of the submarine kamikaze in their Kaiten, they failed to influence the course of the war in any way. That's all for today. If you liked the video, please support it with a like and subscribe to the channel. Bye for now. See you next time.